Good morning. It's the 4th of July, a day when we traditionally remember the people of the United States, and a day when they still need our prayers at this time in the terrible situation with COVID-19 that continues there. It's 23 minutes past 6, which means that for some people, the pubs have been open for 23 minutes. And I'm pretty sure that somewhere, someone, or more than one person, may be tucking into their second pint at this stage. But not for me, even as an early riser. Today is an important day in a process of reopening our country. 3 months ago, more than 3 months ago, on the 20th of March, after, in a very difficult time, our society, many of the aspects of our communities closed down. Pubs, hairdressers. You only have to walk around the streets to see that hairdressers have closed down. And many other services closed. People couldn't go on holiday. People couldn't go to stay with friends. All these things changed. And for more than 100 days, things in our country have been different to almost any time in our recorded history. And now, 105, I think it is, days later, we are looking forward. But first, let's look back. It's been a very interesting time. Those marvellous claps for the NHS early on. I've produced nearly 60 hours of films of prayers and reflections, and some of you have nearly watched them all, so thank you for that. And the work of the church has continued, but in a very different way, through personal contact, through phone calls, through conversations, and through the media that we have before us now. And so Christians have done things differently, and people have done things differently. But there have been many sacrifices, but above all, there have been many positive things. The clap for the NHS is like the tip of an iceberg. It recognises that not only national health workers, but shop workers, key workers, emergency workers, council workers, and a whole raft of volunteers have done so much to sustain our country, our communities, our cities, our villages, our towns over these last 100 days. And it's right at this moment to give thanks for them. But now, on this Independence Day, we're moving forward, and things are beginning to open in a new way. There will be a different feeling. These small communities in which I live on the Northumberland coast have been quiet and quite isolated, and much of the horrors of the COVID epidemic has passed us by. But people are anxious here now because this is a place whose lifeblood is dependent on tourism and visitors and pilgrims. And all those people are beginning to arrive again. And very many people here are anxious about what will happen. We're not expecting Bournemouth Beach, but there will be differences. And certainly this week, as our church leaders met in PCC consultations and things like that, there was a very clear message that we have to be very careful over this next month and indeed over these next 2 months. And so our programme of restarting, which I'll be writing about later, will be very gradual, starting with open air services on some Sundays in July, and that increasing as we review it through August, and leading to a full resumption at the beginning of September as the situation is understood and we get used to this new way of things. I was surprised, but I completely understand the level of concern and the fact that people here who have felt protected are anxious going forward. And I think that's an important message for all of us. There is this idea that some people are just saying, wow, we can do everything, and soon we can go on holiday abroad, and soon we can do this. But I think the important message alongside that is that the steps forward we take must be taken with care. This is about our own safety, but it's also about respecting the very many people who have sacrificed to get us through to where we are today. And above all, those NHS and key workers who have given up so much to help us get to this stage. We need to move forward. We need to open up our economy. We need to open up our communities. People's livelihoods are dependent on this. But we also need to move forward with care, with respect, with concern for each other. Which brings me to our last point. Tomorrow is the birthday of the NHS. This should become, and has become this year, a significant date, and I hope it will remain so in the years to come. As much as any time in its history, the value, the principles, the importance of the NHS has been seen by us all. Many public buildings will be lit up in blue tonight. I don't have the facilities to do that for our churches here in Northumberland. But everyone is encouraged to light a candle tonight and tomorrow night, remembering those who have died in this difficult time, and also remembering the workers who have done so much to help us. And tomorrow at 5 o'clock, there will be a clap for carers. And I hope that many, many people will join in it. And I would hope and pray that it became a national event year by year, as we commit ourselves again to the importance of what the NHS stands for. Beveridge, who wrote the report which led to the National Health Service and to national insurance and all these things, lived down the road about 4 or 5 miles from where I'm sitting. And those principles of community care are very important. I've gone on longer than normal, but this is an important weekend. A weekend with challenges, a weekend with celebrations, and a weekend with fears. May God bless us as we go forward.